So guys, I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Jessica. I am the recruitment specialist here at the TEFL Institute of Ireland. My job is to help those who have just finished their TEFL course and they're looking to find a job in TEFL to become an English teacher. So, I can provide that guidance. I can provide, a recruitment session with you personally as well. We can book a call. We can discuss your options, whether you want to teach in the classroom, teach online, either in Ireland or abroad. So you can book a call with me anytime to discuss your options. I also help in recruiting teachers for our internship program and our supported jobs, and overall just helping manage these programs with our partners as well. So guys, what I want to cover today in our webinar is what is teaching English online, what are the requirements, what are the advantages of teaching English online, the types of online jobs you can have, and also where to find online teaching jobs. And then finally, we'll have a Q&A session. So any questions you have, you can put them into the chat. But also, if any questions pop up during the webinar, feel free to put them in and interrupt me. Or if you want to shout them out, you can, of course. We just want to try and keep it as interactive as possible. So guys, teaching English online, of course, as you know, since the COVID pandemic, there's been, a huge demand for English lessons online, which is really great for us as TEFL graduates. And I can only see it really skyrocketing from here. So it's a really great opportunity. And I think, a lot of English learners now are maybe used to being at home or, working with Zoom. So they want to fit in some English lessons before or during work. So it's really a very flexible way of a student learning English. So there's a really huge demand for it. Typically you could have lessons one-to-one or maybe, small groups as well of students. So, there's a variety of ways you can teach English as well. So let's just quickly go through the requirements for teaching English online. So contrary to what many people think, you don't need a degree or teaching experience to teach English online. If you're a fluent speaker and you have a TEFL certificate, preferably the 120-hour TEFL cert, you can teach English online. You don't necessarily need to have that experience behind you or certain qualifications. It really depends what the company is looking for. Some companies may require a minimum of a bachelor's degree, but really this isn't the case for all companies, as they're screaming out for teachers, for English speakers as well. But I think the main thing for teaching English online is that you have that likability. You have a really energetic character. You're really enthusiastic about teaching English. That, does that come across on camera? That's also super important if you are having any interviews for teaching online jobs as well. So guys, the advantages of teaching English online. I taught English online myself. When I was abroad, I wanted to, supplement my own income and also maybe make up for, the lack of hours during the summer periods, maybe when the language school didn't have as many students. I wanted that extra income to come in. So I decided to pick up a few lessons online through a freelance platform. And really this made such a huge difference, even by taking, maybe 10 lessons a week, maybe less. I was able to have that extra income for, I don't know, groceries or, a few nights out or something like that, while also maintaining my job at the language school. But of course, you might want to check if this is okay with your employer or your director of studies before you do this, as it may be a breach of their contract. But in general, a lot of TEFL teachers now these days could be working in a school, and then in their time off, they'd be doing online lessons as well. And I really think that it expands your capabilities as a teacher, and it gives you exposure to different nationalities. For example, if you're over teaching in Spain, you'll only be used to Spanish students and their language, their difficulties. But when you're online, you have exposure to so many different types of people, and it really makes you more flexible and adaptable to the next teaching job you would do as well. So I really do recommend it from that standpoint as well. Of course, another huge advantage is that you can teach English from anywhere. It can be Fiji, it can be Australia, it can be Ireland as well. Which I think is a great thing. It is like having, that advantage of never being unemployed. So you'll always have that to fall back on, even in periods of unemployment yourself. You can pick up a few lessons to keep you going. I think this is a really great advantage. Or if you decide to maybe study abroad, and you want a bit of extra pocket money, this is also great to do. Probably one of the biggest pros there as well is setting your own schedule. So you can set your own hours. For the majority of jobs you can. Some are fixed, which I'll speak about later. But in general, you can set your own schedule, what times suit you. So if you're more of a morning person, you can schedule in your lessons for the morning. And then if you prefer to work in the evenings, or maybe you have a job during the day and you can only teach in the evenings, you can also slot this in. So it's absolutely perfect for a flexible lifestyle. Maybe if you have children, you work in a couple of jobs, it's really great for that as well. And most importantly, the impact you make on your students. I've seen it myself when I was teaching throughout the COVID pandemic, and I had to transition from the classroom to teaching online. It made such a huge impact on our students' day. It was the highlight of their day, really, whether they were in quarantine, isolating, or all they were doing was working throughout the pandemic. It was really a great way to for them to keep up their hobby, their passion, but also, for them to upskill and work towards their career or their studies. So it's very fulfilling work, for sure. Just as fulfilling as being in the classroom, I found anyway. Just a reminder there, guys, as well, if you have any questions for me, you can pop them in the chat box at any stage. Okay, so I'm just going to move on there, guys, to how do you find a teaching English online job? So I'm going to start first by just breaking down the types of teaching jobs online. So we typically have 3 categories. So the first one is employee or contract work. So this will come with a fixed contract, which has its advantages, of course, but also its downsides. So if you're signing up with the company, you have to sign a contract, you get fixed pay and fixed hours. The advantages here is that they do provide the material and the curriculum. So you just follow a certain criteria for each lesson. So you don't need to worry about planning lessons, and they'll probably provide you with slides as well you can use. Maybe the only thing you'd need to provide there is possibly props. If you're teaching young learners, you might need puppets, or you might need flashcards and things like that. But I think that's a really great way to show your creativity as well. And then another advantage is the routine. So if you're really a person of habit and you love that routine every day and you want to know when you're working, your hours will be fixed. So this would be ideal for you. Disadvantages. So of course, as I said, you'll be working scheduled hours. You can't set your own schedule. And also something to consider is the time zones. So for contract work such as this, a lot of the time they will be, catering towards Asian students. So probably the biggest market would be Chinese students. And you need to consider the time difference here. So you may have to work very early in the mornings. And, is that something you're willing to do as well? I just have a question in there, I think. Yeah, from Lorraine. Do you get paid more if you have a fixed contract? I think, the rate of pay, it's different for every company, but it is generally very good if you have that fixed contract. Because as well, they'll probably ask for more requirements. They may ask for a minimum of a bachelor's degree. They might ask for a year or two of teaching experience. So that's why you would be paid more. But I think with more freelance, which I'll get into now, you can actually set your own rate. So that's really, the potential is unlimited there. So, but in general, Lorraine, yeah, it would be very good pay for contract work, because they do ask for more requirements from the teacher. I just have another question there from Abigail. I've heard that Chinese companies ask for a bachelor's degree. Yeah, like I was saying there as well, a lot of these Chinese companies would be contract work. They'll probably ask for a minimum a bachelor's degree. But I'm going to share with you there, guys, in a while, a couple of companies that won't ask for a bachelor's degree, just to cover you as well. Okay, so guys, sorry now, just one moment. Okay, so let's continue on. So the next type there would be freelance or tutoring, as I was speaking about. This option allows you to teach on a platform where you would market yourself as a teacher and you would attract your students. Of course, this can be competitive. There can be hundreds of teachers on these platforms, but I noticed that if you are a new teacher, they do advertise you, at the top. So they do expose you at first, which is great to get those teachers in, or those students in, sorry. And another way to attract more students is maybe to charge a lower rate at first, to get those students in and develop a relationship with them. And then as you become more experienced, you can charge a bit extra. It's hard to say exactly how much you should charge. Again, with currency and everything, I couldn't say, but I think what you need to consider, it needs to be in scale of how much lesson preparation you're willing to do. So how many hours you're willing to put in for your students. So say that you're just doing conversational English, this will take little or no preparation. So you could probably charge less. But if you're teaching grammar, or maybe you're doing IELTS, which is, university examinations, or business English, you could probably charge that bit extra because you are putting in more work into their lessons. I just had another question there. Do Chinese companies have age requirements? Yeah, again, this would probably be down to the company themselves and what they're looking for. But I think when it comes to age, it's really not as strict as it would be for being in the classroom in schools. You know, I think, like I said before, as long as you're showing that energy, that enthusiasm, that will really compensate, you know, for any age limitations. A question there from Sandra: does the bachelor's degree have to be in teaching? No, in general, no. Of course, it's always preferable. But they usually ask for just a bachelor's degree in any discipline. So guys, I'm just going to go on to the advantages there of freelance teaching. So of course, the advantage there would be you can choose your own students. So whereas I was speaking about the contract work there, you wouldn't be able to choose what students you'd be teaching, you'd be assigned them. And also they may be more young learners, whereas in freelance platforms, you could have any age at all, which is great, I think. So I think as long as you specify on your profile what kind of student you're looking for, this will help kind of filter down exactly what you want. You know, a couple of things to consider there is, you know, is the time zone okay? Will it be a big difference for you in scheduling? Maybe there's a particular age that you prefer to teach as well. You know, feel free to include this in your profile, what you're looking for. Of course, as I said before, you can choose your own hours and you can set your own rate, which is just such a huge advantage. So on these freelance platforms, you're more or less working for yourself and running your own business in a sense. So this gives you so much freedom. Yeah, and as I said there before, the contract work would be have some requirements typically, but when it comes to these freelance platforms, the requirements are actually quite minimal. So a lot of the time they won't ask for a university degree, as long as you're a native English speaker or you have a native level of English, this will suffice. And it really is down to what the students are looking for. You know, don't be discouraged if you aren't a native speaker, because a lot of the time some students may be looking for someone who is not a native English speaker, so that they can relate on their learning journey and, you know, of course, know the struggles of learning grammar. So, you know, don't be discouraged by this. I would say, you know, apply for these jobs anyway. Then when it comes to the disadvantages, so when it comes to the income, of course, this is not guaranteed. So this would be probably the biggest disadvantage against the contract work. So where your contract work is fixed, you know, it's guaranteed every month. Whereas the freelance platforms, you have to make your own way. You know, you have to secure your own students. But you know, in my own experience, I think if you have, you know, that fluent level of English, you should have no problems in attracting students. And, you know, making your teaching profile as attractive as possible. So, you know, a great video, even just a short video, 30 seconds to a minute, introducing yourself, and also including in your profile what you have to offer, every single qualification you have. If you don't have experience, you know, don't be afraid to say, you know, I've had some experience sports coaching. I've had some experience of training my colleagues and work. Even if you're looking for young students, you can say, you know, I've had experience childminding. So I'm really familiar with interacting with kids. Anything like that is also really great to share. So guys, I'm just going to share some links to some great companies. So firstly there, I'm just going to share the contract. So this is the contract companies where you're employees, so there's fixed hours and fixed rates. So I'm just going to include it in the chat there, guys. Okay, so just a couple of links there, such as VIP Kids, Wales English. So these are really popular companies where you can find fixed hours and fixed rates. Again, this would be primarily quite young learners as well. Any questions there, guys, on contract work, being an employee for one of these companies? Please let me know. You can pop it into the chat. Okay, I'm just going to share some freelance companies then. So you can just have a look there in the chat. So we have freelance companies such as Preply, italki, TutorMe. So, you know, in these freelance platforms, you may be referred to as a tutor as well. It could be someone looking for an English tutor. So it would be more personalized experience, I find, in these freelance companies. The student will ask for particular points to be covered in their lessons and particular topics. And if you have any questions there, guys, on freelancing, please let me know. Okay, thirdly then, another type of teaching role online would of course being a business owner, so owning your own teaching online business. So of course you have full control over every aspect in your professional life, which is just such a huge advantage. You have complete independence. You are your own boss. You can set your own rates, your own schedule, and a huge advantage there versus the freelance platforms is that you wouldn't have to worry about commission. So in the freelance platforms, they do take a commission. The percentage varies depending on the company. But you know, if you are booking in, if your students are booking in lessons, the company may take part of that fee that the students are paying. So that's just something to consider. You wouldn't have to worry about if you own your own business as well. The disadvantages then of owning a business is the startup costs. So, you know, things to consider is, do you have professional equipment, technology? You know, you want to have a good headset, a good camera, and a good laptop as well, you know, because it is your business and it would be your full-time job. You know, you may also have to handle the payments, the invoicing, the contracts with your students. So the advantage over that then with the freelance is that they handle all the payments, they handle all the contracts, so you do get paid. Whereas if you're a business owner, you have to keep track of this yourself. But we do, in our Teaching English Online Specialist course on our website, we do cover this. So how to set up your own business. I do really recommend enrolling onto this course if you are interested in owning your own online business. It really helps you get set up and figure that all out. Of course, another disadvantage is income not being guaranteed. So again, you would be in control of this. Whereas versus the contract companies, you would be getting that guaranteed income. So it really just depends on what your priorities are. I just have a few questions come in there from Amanda. Is Palfish a good freelance site? I was on it myself briefly teaching before. It is quite different. You do get a lot of students come in. It is primarily Chinese students. It's a job you could actually do from your phone or your tablet. So this is a really great advantage of Palfish. But yeah, I guess it depends again what you're looking for on a website, what is your preferences. But I know that Palfish is a very, very, very popular website for teaching English online. a question there from John. For contract work, where do you stand on tax? Is it withdrawn at source or do you submit a return yourself? Again, you'd actually have to inquire on the company themselves on this. If they have, you know, a support line or anything like that, I would say inquire with the company themselves. Typically, payment could come through on PayPal or Revolut, you know, these kind of platforms. So that's how you could be paid. But again, it would be different for every company. So guys, I'm just going to link you there an example of a startup teaching English online company. If you want to kind of get a taste of what it would be like and where you'd need to start with the website, etc. So I'm just going to link that in for you there. It's a really good example of a startup business. So guys, finally then I want to get into where to look for a teaching online job. We have recently launched our own TEFL jobs board, so I'm just going to put the link in there for you guys. So here you can find every kind of TEFL job, from, you know, teaching English online to jobs abroad in the classroom. This is a great place to start. So once you are enrolled in one of our courses, you can apply for any of the jobs here. I'm also, guys, just going to share some more TEFL jobs boards with you here. And don't forget to check social media as well, you know, Facebook groups. They're always posting jobs here as well for online positions. So then, just before I finish with the Q&A session, I guess, what can we do as, you know, a TEFL provider for you guys? I mentioned there briefly our specialist course of teaching English online. I've done it myself, you know, during the COVID pandemic, just to give me an introduction into the world of teaching English online. And it was great. It really covered every base and made me comfortable with teaching English online. So I'd really recommend that as well, guys. And also, you know, if you're applying for a job and you don't have experience, you know, if they do require it, or you feel maybe they don't, but you just want to feel confident going in, we also offer a 10-hour virtual teaching practice course. This is done online via Zoom with our academic team. You know, they help you prepare, you know, lessons and also get that practical experience. So this is a great option and really great for you to have down on your CV as well. If you don't have any of that experience yet. If you do, you know, just want to dive straight into teaching English online, you can always start with conversational English. This is probably the easiest way to start. You know, just having a conversation, a graded conversation, which means that you would be grading the language for their level for an hour possibly, or 40 minutes to start off. A lot of people will pay for this just to have the opportunity to speak English with somebody. And then once your confidence grows, you can maybe start covering grammar. You can start specializing in certain niches, such as business English, exam preparation, such as IELTS and TOEIC. We also have specialist courses you can do for these to cover them. Or maybe you'll specialize in teaching young learners, or maybe adults, corporates, anything like that. You know, you could find your own niche and where your strengths are. And then finally, as I said before, we provide job assistance to all our students. So if you've just finished up your TEFL course, we can help you out with job assistance. We can help you get set up for teaching English online as well. So guys, I'm just going to take any last few questions if you want to pop them in the chat. and I can answer them, or if you want to shout them out as well, you can. I think there was a question there on companies without a degree. So I'm just going to put in some names there for you guys where you can apply. Okay, so these companies, they won't ask for a bachelor's degree, but you'll be able to apply. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, if you don't meet all the requirements, there's no harm in applying. That's what I always tell people, you know, go ahead and try it. You never know, they could be in need of a teacher. Okay. I think there's no more questions. Anyway, if you have any questions at all, guys, you can pop me an email. My direct email is recruitment@tefl.ie. I'm just going to pop it into the chat there, guys.
Jessica, sorry, can you hear me? It's Fiona.
I can, Fiona, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to bother. I've just
No problem.
I finished my the 180, the TEFL, just at the beginning of July. So how is there a time limit on when you would give job assistance or help with online jobs? Is there a time on that? Do I need to do it within the next sort of 2-3 months or?
No, absolutely.
No.
There's no time limit. So once you're a student of ours, you're a student for a
Oh,
lifetime. So
fantastic.
yeah, there's no rush. And even, you know, if you're still studying a course, I can still provide that job assistance so you can prepare in advance for when you do graduate. But no, feel free to email me. We can have a call, have a chat about your options and go from there.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks, Fiona. Okay, so I don't think there's any other questions there, guys. We've just linked in there as well a great link for online demo lessons. So they may ask you as well, typically these contract companies as well, can you do a demo lesson for us? Either you'll have to do it live or you might have to record it in a video. Don't be nervous. You know, it's just to give an idea of what you're like as a teacher, and they will give you probably guidelines as well on what to follow for the demo lesson. And if you are struggling with this as well, we can help you create a great demo lesson. But we have a great link here as well on YouTube if you want to view it.
Hi, Jessica. Sorry, yeah,
no
just a question about the 10-hour practical course, is it, that you mentioned? Just can you say a bit more about that and where it can be accessed?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you visit our website, along with all of our other courses, you can sign up there for the teaching practice course. It just to, you know, give you that bit of practice that you can put on your CV as well is always great. You know, because when you do our 120-hour TEFL course, there isn't a practical side included. So this is just an add-on that you can do to cover that as well.
Great stuff. Thank you.
No problem. Just included there, guys, as well, a discount. So discount 30. So use this code at the checkout for €30 off from our 10-hour virtual teaching course as well. So you get a nice discount there for when you want to sign up. Any other questions there, guys, before I finish up? Yeah, I have one there from Amanda. Can I just ask about your intern positions? Would they be good to do to get experience in teaching? Yes, absolutely. I think this is probably the best way to launch your TEFL career and to get you started. So we have a range of internships. Now, these wouldn't be online, these would be in the classroom, but I do think that it's, you know, it's easier to dive into the classroom first, and then you can really get to grips with online as well. So we offer internships in Europe and in Asia. We've recently just opened up 2 spots in Spain for a 3-month internship. This is a really, really great opportunity to get some teaching experience as well. This is for first-time teachers, so they are aware of it. And, you know, we have anywhere from Italy, Germany, and also Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia. You know, it can be anywhere from a couple of months to a year, and this is just going to look fantastic on your CV as well. I've done actually 2 internship programs myself. I'm a big fan of them. It's a really great way to get started. Do you get paid when doing an internship? A question there from Anne-Marie. Yes, you do. Absolutely. We do. Most of our internships, you do get paid. A couple there you wouldn't, the shorter term ones. But we have some really great internships. For example, South Korea, it's probably our highest paying internship. So not only are you getting that practical teaching experience, you're also saving up a bit of money. So it's a really a perfect opportunity. It's a great, you know, launching pad for your TEFL career for sure. You know, and if you do have any doubts about moving abroad, we're going to help you with that. We'll get your accommodation organized, get you set up there in the country. So I really think it's the best way to start off. I found in my own teaching career as well, it's definitely the best way. Any other questions there, guys? You can pop them in the chat. No? Okay.
Sorry, Jessica, can I ask? Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't have I'm just on an iPad, so I can't do the typing in. Sorry.
No problem.
If you are a mature sort of like teacher like myself, and you've already done your sort of your course, can you sort of still apply for these internships? Would you sort of like just sit in on the course just to get the experience anyway, if you've already qualified? You see what I mean?
So you're asking, can you apply for the internships, is it, with your...
Yeah, if you've already sort of like completed successfully your 180 or your 120, and then you're thinking, well, I can't really apply for that because it's just offering to do the course. But if you've already done the course, can you sort of still apply?
Absolutely, yes, you can. So we take applicants as well who've already done their TEFL course with us, or possibly another provider if they've done the minimum 120 hours. As well, we can give you a discount on the price of the internship. So if you inquire with us, because I guess that is part of the package, is the TEFL training.
Yes.
Before you go over. So as long as you have your TEFL courses done before you travel over, that's absolutely no problem. No problem at all, Fiona.
Okay. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, so just a question there from Amanda. Do you have links for the TEFL internships? Yes, I will get you the links there. Just one moment. So as I said, again, we have a lot of countries there to offer. So we have Europe and Asia. So you'll see 2 sections on that as well. And then you can click onto which country you prefer, and it will bring you to the internship. So I'll just put in the link there now, guys. Perfect. So you should see it there now, Amanda. Yeah, perfect. And if you have any questions about these internships, guys, you can book a call with any of us here in the office, and we'll talk you through it. Do you meet the requirements? Is it you know, well suited for you? Great. I think there should be some information there attached in the chat as well. So any other questions there, guys, at all? Teaching online or internships? Yeah, I have one there from Joseph. Does any of the internships cover flights or accommodation? Thanks. Yeah, majority of our internships would either they'd cover the cost of accommodation, or they would provide accommodation assistance. And I can't stress enough how valuable this is. You know, after teaching abroad myself, I don't know how anybody could do it without the accommodation assistance. It's a struggle in itself to find accommodation in Ireland or in your own home country. It's the same when you go abroad. So to have, you know, those in-country team as well to help you find accommodation is honestly, it's priceless. When it comes to flights, yeah, this will probably depend on the country. I think South Korea at the moment, they're doing giving a flight allowance as well, you know, because these flights would be typically more expensive. So they will try either fully or partially cover the cost of flights. Yeah. And yeah, you know, there's so many other features as well, including in our internships. You get orientation and training on arrival. Again, my favorite part of it. You meet other teachers there when you land. You know, you could have the orientation in a hotel, for example, and this would be group training, so you get to know the teachers beforehand. And not only will you have that TEFL training beforehand with us online, but when you get in the country, you'll also have some practical training experience as well to get you all set up. Yeah, a question there from Mohammed. How long does the internships last? Yeah, this actually depends on the country. It can be anywhere from 3 months to 1 year. I would say maximum there is 12 months for our internships, but a lot of these internships would be renewable. So if they're really happy with how you got on in your internship, they may want to keep you on while they have you. But yeah, we have a range of options for what for the duration of the internship that you would prefer. For example, Vietnam, this used to be 12 months, but now they're opening it up to 12 to 9 months. So, you know, it can change year to year, but we do have mostly everything that would suit. We have a time that would suit everybody, really. I think I do recommend, though, going for the longer internships, because it takes time to get settled into a country and get to know the school and your students. So I do recommend a longer term, 9 months or 12 months. Yeah, I have a couple of more questions there. Yeah, from Amanda, me and my cousin are both fully qualified in TEFL and wanting to travel together. Oh, wow, for an internship. Is this possible? Or would we be sent to different places? Yeah, again, I think we do endeavor to make sure that whether it's your cousin or your friends or your partner, that we would try to place you together. But this depends on the type of internship, the country, you know, also the accommodation. So, you know, if you're going to particular countries, the accommodation could be very small. For example, Japan, as you know, it would be quite condensed, the apartments. So maybe having a couple of friends together wouldn't be possible, but they would try and place you in the same school or in the same area. But a lot of our internships would be very open to bringing friends, placing you together, at least in the same town. So, you know, and I think it's great, and you wouldn't be too far from your friends either, but it would never be 100% guaranteed, as it does depend on the availability of the schools as well. Yeah, I have another question there from Miss Yolander. Related to the internships, most countries I saw have internships that are not open for persons living in South America, the Caribbean. Despite most countries like the one I have, from first or only language is English, the requirements that is there exception for persons in the Caribbean who are applying that are native speakers of English? Sure, I mean, sometimes we don't cover the full spectrum of requirements on our website, so it's definitely worth just inquiring with ourselves. Pop us an email, give us your background, and And then we will inquire, depending on the country that you're interested in. They do have certain restrictions on what passport holders they would accept. But sometimes, you know, if you have a great teaching background or qualifications, this could be in lieu of the fact that maybe you don't have the right passport. But yeah, absolutely. Pop me an email and I will inquire for you on which program you're interested in, if they can accept it. Yeah, a question there from Mohammed. I obtained the TEFL certificate from a different institute other than yours. Can I still apply for internships? Yes, absolutely. If you just send us your TEFL certificate, we can check it as well if it is acceptable, but more than likely it will be. We just need to have, we need to accept the minimum 120 hours. So that should be on your certificate, 120-hour TEFL course to be eligible for the program. So we can check that out for you and inquire, Mohammed. All right, I think I might finish up there, guys. Thank you so much for coming, and a spectacular turnout. Thank you so much. Some really great questions and really interactive today.